Is there a universe outside of Bravo?
Did we miss the training manual to our 30s?
No. Are they for real?
Thank God for our girlfriends. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Structured Chaos with Kelly and Kyra. We hope that you had a really great week and that you're ready to laugh about how none of us have it figured out.
Hello. I was just looking at the date and I was like, I can't believe we launched on October 1st and we're already at the end of November. I know, I feel like I say that every week, but I just can't believe it. Still.
No, I'm right there with you. And I think it just seems like we've been doing this for a lot longer. And I'm so...
If you're not watching on Spotify or YouTube,
you're missing
out.
Yeah, I'm just like so proud of us. I feel like we are constantly talking about just like how much we've done, but like we really have, and it just keeps on coming.
So we added this new segment called "Let's Talk About All the Good Things We Do." Like it's just, let's just start off talking about how great we are. Just adds a little.
So if you're not doing stuff, like don't worry. Like we're here to make you feel inadequate.
Yeah. It's just a little something fun we wanted to do.
We boost ourselves up because you're feeling down.
Yeah. So I'm also looking at our outline. It's a little out of order. So I'm a little frazzled. But that's okay because we are professionals and we don't get confused. So, how was your weekend? Your weekend?
My week was good. Oh gosh, lots. So I feel like I have been meaning to talk about really quickly. I meant to talk about it last week. I watched the Martha documentary and on Netflix. And like, if you guys have not watched it yet, like, please do yourselves a favor. Like, you have to go watch it. I've never been here nor there about Martha Stewart. I've never disliked her, I guess I should say. But I just love her. It is so, I mean, obviously, like anyone who's like best friends with Snoop Dogg and like they're like the most like, you wouldn't think that their friendship would exist. And so the fact that they're best friends, like obviously means like she has to be super freaking cool. And the documentary just proves it over and over. And like, fuck men, fuck the patriarchy. This woman knew what she was doing and haters are gonna hate every time. So do yourselves a favor. You have to go watch it. Like you will walk away loving it. And it was funny actually, because there was a client and they were talking about it. And she was like, basically like was like, I don't really care for her. And I like walked in and I was like, you have to watch it. I was like, you're not going to feel that way after you watch it. And she was like, really? I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, please, like you have to give me your like comments. Like I need to know because there's no way you could watch that and not like her. So do yourselves a favor, watch that on Netflix.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but my mom has been talking about it for like a couple weeks because she like loved it. And she's been telling everyone in our family to watch it, just saying amazing things and just telling everyone we see all the things. Did you know Martha did this? She worked on the stock market. She worked on this. She was a model. She roasted Justin Bieber. She's best friends with Snoop Dogg. Like she's just doing it all. She was in prison, but just all the things. And so and then my dad watched it. He loved it. So I need to watch it. It sounds great. I don't really watch that much TV besides the shows that we watch because that's a lot already. But it is on my list and I will watch it. It sounds fantastic.
Like maybe only an hour, maybe like a little over an hour. So it's not like too bad.
Yeah.
So I wish I had that documentary to watch while I was sitting in all my freaking traffic last week. That would have been nice.
Yeah, you had quite a bit.
My goodness. So I went to LA, and which is like fine, whatever, I mean, you're obviously going to hit traffic, but I woke up like giving myself like 3 hours to like definitely buffer in some time there, because it's not going to take 3 hours. It took over 3 hours, so that was on me. So I did
Was it on you?
Well, for thinking that I could get somewhere in 3 hours, I guess. But LA traffic had a different plan for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to push my appointments back. So that's and I was telling Kelly, like, I'm honestly not like, I don't get like angry being in traffic. Like, it's really like not that big of a deal to me. Obviously when you have to be somewhere at a certain time, it's like a little more hectic, but for the most part, like, I really don't mind. I sit in traffic every day to and from work. So it's really whatever. So then I go into work, go home, get ready. It's the night that Kelly and I go to the basketball game, which we'll talk about. Then I got stuck in more traffic, and I gave myself 45 minutes to get from my house to work, which like is plenty of time. Nope, over an hour.
Which is so funny because when we talked about meeting before the game, you were like, make sure you give yourself enough time to get there. The traffic's going to be so bad. And I was like, it won't be that bad from my house because I've like driven there before from like at that time. And it wasn't bad from my house just because of the traffic pattern. Can't say the same for you.
No.
But it was just funny because, well, it wasn't funny for you, but it was funny to me that you were like, make sure you give yourself enough time. I'm like, girl, bye. You already know I am going to be fine because I'm a psycho about traffic and time, and because I hate drivers. I just hate people. But, I'm always planning ahead because I hate everything having to do with cars and parking and driving.
So I went from traffic in the morning to traffic on the way to the game. And like by the time I got to Kelly, I was like, I was like, I'm going to walk to the arena at this point. And she thought that I was meeting her at the arena, not at my work. And she was like, I'm going to hit you. She was like,
well, so we were meeting at Kyra's job so I could park there, and then we were going to drive together. And so she texted me and was like, I'm walking into the arena. And I was sitting at her job, like waiting for her. And I was like, hello? I was like, I'm going to punch you in the face. And she thought I was saying like that because she was late. And I was like, you're at the arena? I'm waiting in your parking lot. Hello?
I literally was like, I know, I would hate me too if I was asleep. And she was like, what?
I was like, no, I'm just sitting in a dark parking lot waiting alone. But all was well. We got there right when the game started. I mean, we walked in right as it started. It was perfect timing. And so should we just get into the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went to the new Front Wave Arena in Oceanside, and which is where the LA Clippers G League team is playing, which is the San Diego Clippers. And we went to see them play the LA Lakers G League team, which is the South Bay Lakers. So yeah, we went to that game. It was fun. I didn't know what to expect, but it was cool. Basically, I got invited to go to like do social media for like Front Wave Arena, which is the Clippers team, the San Diego Clippers team. And I was so excited to get the opportunity to like bring a +1. And like, since Kyra loves basketball, obviously I wanted to invite her, and I picked the one where they're playing the Lakers. And I was just so excited about getting to bring Kyra because she loves basketball. And like, I was so excited to like, I'm going to wear a Lakers shirt for Kyra, that I just like did not think about the fact that like the whole reason that we were going was because the Clippers invited me. And I didn't consider that until I was literally on my way there. And so basically I showed up like invited by the Clippers and I was wearing Lakers stuff. And so we were like in a little like area that was like, you know,
We're in a suite.
We were in a suite for like the Clippers, whatever. And then the photographer was like, we're going to go down to the court and we're going to get pictures of like the influencers that are here, like for the Clippers. And I was like, okay, so I'm wearing a Lakers shirt. And like, it was fine that Kyra was wearing the Lakers jacket because she was my +1. So it's like, obviously they don't care not that they don't care, but it's like, if I was wearing a Clippers thing and you were wearing the Lakers thing, it would have been fine. Because it's like, yeah, she's a guest. And of course you could be a fan of whoever you want. And it's not like they were like mad, but
yeah, they weren't mad or anything.
It was definitely not in any group shots. It was very much like, okay, we're going to take a picture of you two, which turned out being good because then we got our own picture. But it was very much like, okay, well.
But also no one was wearing anything. No one else was like wearing like one team or the other.
Right. Well, the girl that was sitting behind us was wearing like red, but I mean, yeah, she wasn't wearing like a jersey or anything, but she was wearing the color. And then there was a family who when we were there, I did not know that they were influencer people, but I saw her post later and they were wearing like Padres stuff, but it was, San Diego. So yeah, it wasn't a big deal, but I'm sure that they were more favored than me wearing the opposite team being on the court. Like, but anyways, they liked, my reel was good. They liked my reel. And hello, did you guys love our vlog? I mean,
oh my God.
Quality.
Guys, we totally forgot that we were supposed to be doing a vlog. We started it though. Like that's the other part is like we started it in the car. And when I tell you that Kelly and I just laugh, literally start to finish, like that is all we do. Like
yes.
We're just like goofy and whatever. And so we did the beginning part and then it was like the end of the game and we were like, oh, we were supposed to be vlogging.
Yes. And even like Kyra got a car mount, and so when she first picked me up, like I said, like she said she was, in traffic, so she was late, but then we still like set it up in the car, and then we were trying to do it, but then we both were like frazzled. I was on the phone when she picked me up. She was, in traffic, and so we're talking about it, and then it was like it was dark, obviously, so we're like, well, we don't even have a light, and we can't have the light on when she's driving, and so, but I got clips of traffic driving there. And then when we were in the car, we took clips of us in the car. And then, obviously we got clips of the game. I was making a separate video for my social media and then we were getting clips. But like Kyra said, we were just laughing the whole time. Like we could make an hour-long video of us just laughing.
Literally.
But that's not of the game. But I mean, I still think what we had was funny.
Super cute.
And I mean, yeah, we were just sitting and watching and eating, chilling.
Judging.
Mm-hmm. You got to see my infamous look in action, my look back.
Kelly she wears her heart on her sleeve.
I do. Don't cut me in line.
She doesn't care how old you are.
No. It was a dad. It wasn't a kid.
It was a kid, I thought.
No, it was a dad with kids, but
oh.
No, that's what I was making the face at, the dad. This guy was in front of me as we were walking down to the court. He was in front of me. And then he tried to like go around to go faster and that didn't work. So then he ended up getting right back in front of me and it annoyed me. So I'm like,
you're at like a dead stop. Like there was just people.
Yeah. And then they couldn't get on the court. So then now you're stopped in front of us and you're preventing us from getting farther.
Mm-hmm. But we had such a great time. That arena's really nice. The food that they had for us was awesome. It was bomb. It was Seaside Market Tri-Tip. So if you guys live in San Diego, then you know what Seaside Market is. So
yeah. And gelati and piccati pizza.
Bomb.
So good. Mm-hmm. I went back for seconds.
And then I ended my weekend. Saturday night, I went to the Lafayette, which like is like right near my house, which is so nice. And I already love it at the Lafayette on any day of the week. they're decorated for Christmas now, and if you like are familiar with this restaurant group that owns the hotel, like, you know, like they do not skimp on anything design wise. And oh my gosh, they had like all these Christmas trees hanging from the ceiling in like the main bar. They have this huge Christmas tree outside by the pool, like the whole lot. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. They're gonna do high tea there starting I think
I
next
saw
week or this
that.
week. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that for sure.
It looks so cute. I saw your pictures. It looks so pretty. They did not do that last year.
No.
And I was so disappointed because, like you said, they usually go all out, like in all of their restaurants, in all the designs, everything. And last year I went there at Christmas time and they just had like the tree outside and it was beautiful. But I was like, this is their decor. Like they were not decked out. And so when I saw your pictures, I was like, oh, okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Because
so basically what I heard is so if you're familiar, then you would know. If not, they have this other restaurant called Polite Provisions, and it's open all year round, but it's like known for like their holiday decor. Like the line is forever long, like trying to get in there during the holiday season, but they're in trouble. And so they're not going to be open. And so because they're not going to be open until January, they like decided to like go all out at Lafayette, and they're doing like breakfast with Santa and everything. So it looks so good everywhere. So if you're in San Diego or you're coming to San Diego soon or you're not that far, go to the Lafayette. It's so pretty.
cute. I also went to a Christmas bar this weekend at Belmont Park, Miracle at Draft. Which I had gone to last year as well, but I went with my friend Tamara on Friday. They had like an influencer night, so we went, and it's cute, and because you can have like dinner there and stuff. It's obviously a different vibe than Lafayette, like your typical what you would think of as a Christmas bar, lots of decor everywhere, all fun Christmas drinks in Christmas glasses and all kinds of fun stuff. So that's a cool one too. It's right on the beach. It's fun. I like it. And so I recommend going there too if you want to go to a Christmas bar. So that was one of the things that I did over the weekend. And then I also last week got a lymphatic drainage massage, which I had never had. I've had the lymphatic drainage facial, but not like the full body massage. And it was so relaxing and nice. And I will be, posting about it, of course. But yeah, it was lovely, and I'm excited to go back just because,
it's because she wants to be closer to me because it's coincidentally right in the plaza that I work.
It is. And so I was there 2 days in a row, and it was just very nice and relaxing. The space is so cute. I was just like taking pictures of everything there. Even the bathroom was cute. Like just everything was so cute.
She's like constantly like working on it too. Like I think she like just finished like a little bit of a remodel.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. It's really, really beautiful. So that was so nice after like kind of a stressful work week. I had lots of things going on at work, lots of things going on with the sorority that I advise for, which is not a paid position, but I wish it was. So yeah. But anyways, that's kind of how our week was. And by the way, to our listeners, I know obviously you can probably tell we talked a little more this week about how our weeks went, which is a switch up from what we had been doing. So if you like that, let us know. Because we would like to continue doing that.
Also, really quickly, I forgot. Okay, so the last part of like my Christmas decor that needed to like be finished was my wreath like over my fireplace. Mm-hmm. And so my friend was over because like I needed a second person to like so I could visually see where I wanted it, Mm-hmm. And so hung it up, and then like went out, came back, and I was like, thank you so much. Like the wreath is still up. It looks great. Because I was like nervous that it was like gonna fall. I think maybe 15 seconds later, I just hear this like boom, and it's like the whole wreath falls off of the wall, and like my mantle is decorated with Christmas stuff. So like my stocking like holders like came down, like my trees, everything. And so I'm just like sitting there, and I like look at it, and I was like, Well, I guess I spoke too soon.
Oh no.
Took the paint off the wall. Like,
oh
yep.
no.
Yep. But I did it on my own yesterday. So
Nice.
it's still up. And I like took all like the bulky stuff down just in case it would fall again. Then it wouldn't like sound like there was an earthquake in my apartment. But we're still going strong. So
Good.
there we go. Guess we don't need a man to do things. We can still do it on
Fingers
our
crossed.
own.
Of
Time
course
and time again, we can prove it. We don't need no man.
Also, we should add on our carousel this week pictures related to the things we just talked about. So, like, if you want to include your Christmas decor pics,
I got the falling. I got everything.
Perfect. So we'll add pictures of that. We will include pictures, obviously, from the game, even though if you want to see our vlog, it's up on our Instagram and our TikTok. And we'll include maybe some pictures of the Lafayette decor. And I'll include pictures from the Draft Miracle Christmas bar as well, just so you can see all the things we're talking about, the fun things. Oh, and I got my nails done, which Kyra would be very happy about. Some red nails. So.
I was like, okay, red nails, a different side of you.
Yes,
I got my nails done too, but
nice. Yeah, don't. You know. So, anyways, yeah. So, going on to what happened in the news, the Bravo news this week.
So excited. Shahs of Sunset is getting a reboot. And like, that is one of my favorite Bravo shows. When they canceled it, I was like, why? Like, it does so well. Like, everyone loves it. Like, what? No one's even beefing, like, at that point in time, which is, like, not normal. So it's like, of course, like, once they're all friends again, they're like, nope, we're going to not do this anymore.
Because that's what the show is. They need people to be, like, fighting. I haven't seen this. I've seen Shahs of Sunset. I've seen every episode. I haven't seen that they're doing a reboot. So... I'm excited to learn this. Is it going to be the same cast?
Yep,
people?
same cast. So they said that MJ, Reza, Gigi, and there's going to be some new faces. Obviously, they're not going to use Mike because he's been in a little bit of legal trouble over and over again.
Yes, he's problematic.
Yeah, and abusive. So to women,
exactly.
So, you know. But yeah, he and then Reza said that like I don't follow him on Instagram, but he said that like he's shared pictures of the whole cast, but you don't know that they're the cast.
So, okay. And is there a timeline?
Nope.
Okay.
Just said that the reboot is in the works.
Yay, that's exciting. So maybe next year, I'm assuming, if it's already in the works. Cool. Well, looking forward to that. So we'll obviously be recapping that on Structured Chaos since we both like that. And then I saw yesterday that Southern Hospitality is starting on January 2nd. So for those of you who don't know, it's like a spinoff kind of Southern Charm. Leva from Southern Charm owns like a club restaurant in Charleston. Yeah, and one of them specifically is featured. It's kind of like a Vanderpump Rules-ish type show.
I feel like it's almost like a Sir Villa Blanca thing because they do go back and forth between both of those like ones, you know, her two restaurants. Remember because the other girl worked at the other restaurant and she didn't work at the
Yeah, that's true. So I'm excited for that. I liked the last season was good. I liked the show. I mean, it's not like as dramatic. Like nothing is as good as like the OG like reality shows like when they very first started, like Vanderpump Rules and stuff. Like nothing's gonna be that good because of how reality shows have evolved and like people that come on reality shows now like know the deal and sometimes they like overproduce themselves and all that kind of stuff. But
I think it's good too. Like all of Kelly's points, like I do like it and I still watch it and I still will watch it, but they're also like a lot younger and so that's annoying too. And I feel like a lot of the Bravo shows like we're either the same age as them or they're older than us, so it's like more relatable conversations where like Southern Hospitality, like they're young, like they're like still in college, you know, like so I feel like that's like the difference too.
Yeah, totally. But It's interesting. It's entertaining. We'll watch it. I'm excited that we have some like new shows to look forward to in the new year, because it's always a little bit depressing when the holidays are over and you're like, oh, what do we have to look forward to? So some new shows will be fun and exciting. Yeah. So cool.
And then they had Bravo Fan Fest this weekend, which was new. They've never done that before. So essentially it's like kind of like a BravoCon. It was a bunch of panels. It was all the Bravo celebrities, being asked questions, teasers, kind of like some gossip within their friend groups. So nothing like super, super big came out of it that I saw. I did see that Larsa Pippen and Lisa Hutch, whatever her last name is, from Real Housewives of Miami, they're not friends. And they were like best friends.
Well, I mean, I feel like they fought a lot on this last season.
No, remember? Because that's when Larsa was like by her side and standing by her side because she was going through her divorce. They didn't fight at all.
No, they did fight a lot. This last season.
They were always out together. That's when Marcus and Lisa and her boyfriend were all out together. All the time. They went on vacation together.
No, I feel like they were fighting all the time.
No.
I mean, I feel like Lisa was fighting with everyone. I mean, it's like, that's how it is on the shows anyway. I mean, they're best friends and they're fighting. Yeah. But I feel like they were still fighting a lot.
So I was definitely shocked about that one. And then they just had like little things here and there, but I didn't really like see anything major.
I didn't really, I mean, I knew it was happening and I was looking on the Bravo Instagram for other stuff for, this show, about the shows that we're currently watching. And there was like so many videos about the Fan Fest, but I didn't really watch them. I just kind of,
they're there.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then as of last night, Alexis has officially been fired from Real Housewives of Orange County.
Okay, I did not know that either. So I'm learning it all this morning.
So we will get into that when we get into the recap of OC. But yeah, so saw that last night. Thank God. Bravo, you were listening to all of us and experiencing it yourselves and probably like, this woman's got to go.
Well, I also heard like on Heather McDonald's podcast that Shannon basically said like under no circumstances will she film with Alexis again. So they were probably just like, it's not worth it. Like, we're not going to lose Shannon over this because Alexis doesn't have a storyline. Like, her storyline is Shannon.
She'll say, she'll try to tell you otherwise, but.
Right. But we'll get more into that when we get there.
Yeah.
So now onto the shows. This was a good one for the challenge. This is a good week and we haven't talked about it. Like usually we'll kind of talk during the week to ourselves a little bit about the episodes. We have not talked about this yet. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Yes. I think that had each of us made $1 million bet, we would have broke even because neither of us would have chose the winner of the group challenge this week.
Nope.
They this week on the group challenge, and it was a male elimination. They were on a semi truck and they had to like hang off of the semi truck and like hit targets, which like honestly seems fun. That truck was going 55 miles an hour. Like that's just like, 55 miles an hour is fast. Plus you're standing on top of it and you have to hit these targets. And like, as someone who is 5'2" on a good day, that seems incredibly difficult. And then out of nowhere, Derek pulls out the win. A sleeper in the game that I would have never, ever, ever assumed. And I loved it. So him and Jordan tied each other. And I love that they had to do a sudden death because I also didn't see that coming.
I know. That was awesome. So Derek won. And then Rachel won for the girls. And so they had to but Josh lost for the guys. So, which I mean, last week we said like if Josh doesn't win, like, he's going to be going in. And not only did he not win, but he lost. So he automatically went in. And the target options were Johnny Bananas and Corey. And so Rachel and Derek had to decide, but like ultimately it's Rachel's decision. And so we kind of knew like she's going to choose Corey. I don't know. They kind of set it up to be like, maybe she'll change her mind. And I, at one point, was like, maybe she will.
That would have really shook things up if she did.
I know. But no, she chose Corey, which I was like, oh no, I don't want Corey to go home. Not that I like didn't think that he could beat Josh, but
you just never know. Like sometimes
you never know. There's like, you just never, because like we saw with like the competition that like Johnny Bananas and Ryan had, the elimination, like that really, it's like there's no real skill involved in that, the little Mario Kart thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's anyone's game, you know, so you just never know what the elimination is going to be. So anyways, Corey won, and he like just won by a long shot.
So like Josh's theme throughout the episode was losing.
And crying.
And crying.
Just, we didn't see him once when he wasn't crying.
And we say crying, this is what he did, and he's like really gonna miss everyone on the show, and he's best friends with them.
And I'm being like, a challenger is the best opportunity of his life. Okay, let me just say this. First of all,
I have some thoughts.
I have thoughts. The braids were back. We saw Tori doing the braids. They still looked bad, so I think it's just his hair. He was crying the whole episode. Like, the way Kyra just did the impression was spot on. All episode crying about multiple different people, and that's how he has cried all season about multiple different people. He cried about Casey like that. He cried like just every
you name him.
He has.
He's friends with them.
Name him. Name him.
Oh, like, I will.
It's just every person. That's his best friend. They've done so much for him. Blah 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 blah. So the thing that I really have a lot of feelings about is that he talks about his parents and how they did so much for him, and like they came from nothing and they built this beautiful life for him, and he wants to repay him, which, okay, that's amazing. Love that. I'm sorry, but if you really feel that way and you care so much, why don't you get a job that you're good at? Because you're not good at this. And if I was your parents, I would be like, maybe he doesn't really give a shit about us, because he keeps claiming he wants to like give us money, but yet here he is
failing time and time again,
getting a job where you could just have a secure paycheck. He keeps going back to this competition show that he's not winning, and he's just crying and not getting paid to cry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess some could make the argument he is getting paid to cry. There is a video. I didn't send it to you yet. He was on, I think his name is Zach. He's like a challenge contestant, old challenge contestant. He has a podcast. And so Josh is on his episode, and he talks about how he's taking a break from the challenge, and this one was like mentally draining from him. And it's like, you've never been successful. It's like, so it's like also the best part about the elimination, like it was a very even competition for the two of them. They had to like run side by side. There was a wall in between them, and they basically like one had to outrun the other, and then jump over one hay bale. Josh is very tall, and this was not. He tripped over it the first time. And then like literally like just like it might as well have been a 10-foot wall like that he had to scale. Like I
want to say I'm very realistic every week. I always like talk shit, and then I'm like, but I couldn't do it. I could have jumped over that thing. I could not have ran faster than Corey, but I could have jumped over the hay bale without
falling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the one challenge I could have done, jumped over the hay bale.
Especially at his height.
And I was going to say, and my legs are probably half the length of Josh's.
So, like, my guy, you deserve to go home because Corey literally swept him. He didn't win once.
and everyone in the crowd was like, what are we doing, Josh? What is happening? And no one cried over him leaving. Even Johnny Bananas was like, I think Josh could figure this one out. Like, even your friends hate you. And which is sad. I did feel bad for him because I'm like, even your friends don't like you. And that is not nice to see back. I would have my feelings hurt. I would be crying again watching it and being like, these people don't like me.
And next week's episode, the preview. Oh, no, thank you. Like, I know I said I could do a lot of them. Oh my God. It looks like they're in these like little fucking tunnels. And TJ's saying like, watch out for the fire ants. And like, no, claustrophobia, fire, like nature and claustrophobia. No, thank you. I mean, maybe I would win that one though, because I would run like the wind.
Yeah. So next up is Roni. I don't even think we need to waste our time. It's just such a snooze. I mean, the whole episode was about the prank and it's just, who cares? It's so boring.
We'll pick up with Salt Lake since New York is giving us absolutely nothing. Do better. And they come back from Palm Springs and Mary throws a Audrey Hepburn lunch. She loves a theme party. So everyone dresses as Audrey Hepburn or, a version of her. And so naturally, if you know, like Audrey Hepburn is known for her like short baby side swept bangs. So some of the girls took that theme and some did it wonderfully and others, meaning Meredith, did not. I don't know what her version of a clip-in bang was, but it certainly wasn't what we would have expected. It was like all the way on the top of her head, just like placed there. And then they were like fanned out like a wet cloth. It was so weird. And they asked her about it at Bravo Fest.
What did she say?
She goes, I don't know why people had a problem with a PC bang. It's like, people don't have a problem with a PC bang. They have a problem with whatever you chose to interpret a PC bang as.
I really wish that this episode had come out prior to Halloween because that would have been my look.
Would have died. Oh my gosh, she looked so disheveled and like, oh my gosh. And then while we're speaking about how everyone was dressed, Heather came in a sweater. Like just like a regular turtleneck sweater with her hair done and like one clip in there. Like nothing about it was Audrey Hepburn inspired at all.
She was like, I'm good.
Bronwyn for sure got my top vote. She looked the best. She looked flawless. Oh, she looked so good.
I mean, I watched the episode. I will be honest, I was doing other things while I was watching it. So I watched it, but I wasn't like scrutinizing their looks at the lunch to like pick a favorite. But I did love the part where Angie was like, oh, I'm surprised to see Brittany's name here. And Mary was like, well, I invited her because I wanted her to know that I'm not poor. I just love Mary so much.
So good. And then speaking of Brittany, so they're having a conversation. The girls are having a conversation. Heather and Bronwyn are getting into it again. And then Lisa, gets involved. And Heather's just so like delusional and like trying to like switch the narrative and like create something that didn't happen. And it's like, come back down to earth. Like pick up Lisa on your way down because she's also up there with you in delusion world. And then Brittany, which if again, you're a Bravo lover, very Sheena Shea coded, gets up as they're all having their conversation and like they're apologizing to one another and we're just like let bygones be bygones and like let's move on. And Brittany stands up and she goes, guys, what about me? This isn't fair.
Okay, as you were saying that, I just Googled what her zodiac sign is. Because, well, my guess was Leo, which is what I am. But, she's not a Leo. But
She
I just...
Gemini?
No. She's a Virgo.
I don't know much about Virgos, I feel like.
I don't either. But it was just so funny. When she first said it, I thought she was going to be like, I'm joking. She was being dead serious.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, you guys, what about me? And she was
about you?
Dead serious. And I'm like, what? Like,
and Mary goes,
girl.
Oh, Lord.
And then she goes, I don't know about Brittany's boyfriends, but I know Jared won't stop sliding into my DMs. I'm like, Mary, the shade.
And he is in her DMs calling her beautiful. It was cringy, creepy. Like, this man is so desperate to be on Bravo. It's alarming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's Salt Lake Slade.
Yes, it literally is. So Brittany is like, honestly, like, to quote the great Evelyn Lozada, a non-motherfucking factor. And we haven't seen you in a couple episodes and we're not mad about it. And
I forgot you were on the show.
Like, good Lord. So last week we talked about the kind of like turn of Bronwyn and Todd's marriage and kind of like seeing this other side and like how he's a monster. So this episode started off with like the return from Palm Springs. And so it's him and Bronwyn talking. And he just has this like scolding session with her, essentially like dad-daughter conversation, and just letting her know like that wasn't becoming of her, the way she behaved, and he doesn't know who she is, and he's never
very
seen
condescending
that. And like she needs to get up and walk away next time. And she's like getting emotional, and she was like, but you saw what was happening, right? Like you saw like was I not supposed to stand up for myself? Was I not supposed to have an opinion? Like, it is hard to be in this group of women, and like I'm trying to like gain my footing a little bit, and like I've been wronged, and so I was sticking up for myself. And yeah, maybe it wasn't in like the most like polite way, but like you saw that as your wife I was getting attacked, and like you want to scold me about how I chose to go about it.
And what was honestly sad to me was in her interview, she was like, Todd's opinion means a lot to me. Like, it actually means everything to me. And he doesn't like me to show my emotions in public. And if we're being real, he doesn't like me to show my emotions in private either. And I was like, oh, this is really sad and scary, but okay.
So
yeah.
You definitely leave the episode still feeling like icky about them. And I know that it's obviously been a combination of like her trying to do this like damage control, to her at the moment, but it just so happened like she's been obviously she's like been the storyline the past 2 episodes where people are now having a different opinion about her marriage, but she's also been on like she's been doing like a bunch of press also. And so she was on the Nick Viall podcast. And when I saw like the teaser clips, I was like, oh, okay, I definitely want to listen. So I listened to it and it was really good. I mean, loved her then, love her more now. I will say, like, obviously I don't like the way he speaks to her, and that's not okay. You do get a better, larger picture of all of it and kind of like why he reacts the way he does, what their dynamic is, what they've been working on. He absolutely, and she was very, very transparent, and she wasn't trying to excuse his behavior. She wasn't trying to say like, well, I don't understand why people feel the way that they feel, and like, it's my marriage. No, none of that. Like, she was very like, obviously I understand why people have an opinion. She's like, because what they're being shown, like, yeah, I'd walk away with a negative opinion of my marriage as well. And like, and again, I also don't like the way he spoke to me, and that is not who he is, and that is not what, you know, typically transpires. She was like, I know Todd better than anyone. And she said, and we both have very different ways of communicating. And she said, he did not sign up for this. He wasn't prepared. And she was like, he now understands. And she was like, and I would still continue to do it, even if he, you know, didn't want me to. Like, this is for me, and I'm going to do it. She's like, he's very protective of our family. So that conversation that happened at the dinner party with Gwen and her grandparents, like, he shut it down because that is our personal business. That is our personal private business. And I'm not going to bring Gwen into something that she's not here to talk about herself. And that was not a dinner table conversation. And so he shut it down. And she said, he's very, very protective of her and I. And she talked about how they do have different ways of communicating with one another, and it is something that they are constantly working on. But he is so sweet. And she discussed how, like, she knows that he processes information very differently. So when he does get, you know, a little bit more heightened in his response, she knows that it's like, he just needs some time. He needs to like digest things and then come back to the table and have a discussion about it. And again, like I said, it's not like I'm like, oh, okay, well then do whatever you want, say whatever you want, treat her however. But it was definitely just different in the sense of like, she does go into like great detail, and it is more understandable and less alarming, I guess I should say. It's a really good interview though. Really good interview.
Yeah, I plan to listen to it.
She's just super honest. Like, that's what I respect. Like, she's just super honest.
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, I plan to listen to that to get more details. So, I mean, yeah, basically this week it was just the party at Mary's, and then we got the mid-season trailer, which this season is just going to keep getting better, I think. So I'm excited for that, to kind of see where this season goes. And then we had part 3 of the Orange County reunion. We didn't really think much was going to happen, but quite a bit did happen. But at the same time, it's kind of like, I mean, a lot of the same. So Alexis just keeps yapping away about the lawsuit, and just doesn't make any sense. And now that we know that she's not coming back, it's just, in my opinion, a little useless to even talk about her. She's just, I mean, her and John, just another one that pretends he doesn't want to be on Bravo, but he clearly does. So goodbye, John and Kyle. I mean, John and Alexis.
We'll get into that because I can say bye to Kyle as well too. Getting into that in a second.
So, I mean, whatever. Tamara, whatever. Her and Shannon made up, which, I mean, cool. If it's real, that's great. I think Shannon just handled herself amazingly this season and through the reunion, and props to her. Emily and Alexis both just need to shut up. That was my main takeaway from this third. Just both of you.
No one else could get a word in.
No one. And so Alexis just kept talking every time Andy would ask her a question. And then the moment he would ask Shannon, she would keep interrupting her, and she would go, well, you didn't let me speak. It's like, yes, she did let you speak. Everyone let you speak.
Also, again, we talked about it before, but just to remind people who don't follow along with the show, Alexis and John have been together for a year. Shannon and John were together for almost 5 years. Alexis was not involved in any part of the thing that she has made her storyline. And yet she continues to try to correct a timeline or try to paint this picture that she was not a part of. And like, it's just so frustrating. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Right. Everything they're talking about are things that happened when Shannon and John were together. They're not talking about anything that happened since they broke up. And Alexis keeps saying, move on, move on. Why do you keep talking about it? It's like, what you're gaslighting her she has moved on to the extent that he will let her, but he is suing her. So, and she's on a show where everyone keeps asking her about it. That's the only time she talks about it.
It's so stupid.
So it's so dumb. I'm glad that Alexis won't be coming back. And so then basically the reunion ends, and then there's a little meeting at whoever's house. I don't even know whose house they're at. Where we find out that John did hear the accident and
that she didn't almost run over his daughter.
Yeah. Well, I still don't know, I guess, if that part's true, but it sounds like no, because his daughter's the one who went to check. And I mean, I do understand why that's such a big deal and really heartbreaking and devastating for Shannon to find out. But I'm also just okay.
The part that bothered me about it is you guys knew that and you guys waited the entire season making her feel like she had done potentially something really, really horrible. And you guys knew that that wasn't the case. And that's what pissed me off about it.
Well, they didn't know the whole season. They found out after the engagement party. They found out at dinner, but they did know at the reunion and they didn't say anything, which is weird. But whatever. It's the season is, I mean, it was a good season. It was a good season, but I'm over it.
Yeah.
So
bye.
Yep. So then we had obviously Beverly Hills started, which is so exciting, but the first episode is always I mean, it was good, but there's not that much to talk about, except for the fact that everyone on the cast is single now, which is funny. One point that I wanted to say is I never want to be the type of, first of all, God forbid I ever have to go through a divorce. Because obviously no one wants to do that. But if I do not ever want to be the type of divorcee that Kyle is, where I'm so helpless I don't even know how to turn a TV on without my husband. I know that Kyra and I have been talking. Right. We've been talking recently about how we can do all these things without a man. Yes, of course, if you have a partner and you don't have to do all these things replacing your shower head and building a coffee table. Of course, that is going to be an amazing thing for us one day that we're not going to have to do those things. However, I don't want to not know how to do the most basic tasks because it's not even divorce. What if your husband, God forbid, dies or is out of town? You don't know how to turn the TV on? I'm that's not a flex to be I don't even know to turn the TV on. I don't know what a rain gutter is. What? She was I don't know, does it collect leaves? I'm no, this isn't cute and funny. You just sound dumb.
And Kyle is on my last note. Kyle's never historically been one of my favorite housewives. I know a lot of people like her. She's never been here nor there to me. She's just there.
Yeah.
I can't stand. Okay, so last year her and her husband started going through a separation. We're now seeing they're still in it. But she started being in a relationship with a woman, which whatever, fine. The woman was on the show last year, talked about her multiple times. She was on the show. They went and got tattoos. She was in her music video. It wasn't it was this mystery person. So this season, it's Garcelle's trying to have an honest conversation with her. And she's I don't want to bring up anyone who's not here and that can't speak for themselves. And if we could just not say her name. And it's her name is Morgan. Her name is Morgan. We met her last year. She was on camera. She was in multiple episodes. Why are you, what?
And no one's saying anything disparaging about her.
Right. So that was
there's nothing, annoying. There's nothing bad to say. Nothing bad happened. But yeah, it's almost because they used it for clickbaity, is she not? And now it's oh no, we can't go there. And it's ew.
She's I have adult children. Okay. Your youngest child is 16, 17.
And your kids are raised in LA. They see it all they're all very accepting and very open. And you told the world that when you had a conversation with them about it, they were you couldn't do anything that would make us
literally
not love you. So, it just makes no sense.
She's just so annoying. The thing that I really want to discuss, though, and I guess it's going to be a very unpopular opinion based on the way it's all over the freaking internet. Why was Dorit smoking a cigarette so iconic? I mean, when I tell you if you guys, again, don't follow Bravo, the entire internet is talking about how iconic it is that she's smoking a cigarette in her car. And like, I'm sorry, I just don't get it. Oh, Beverly Hills is back. Look how iconic. This is how every season should start. This is how we know it's going to be good. I'm like, do we? Is that a sign? Because I missed that memo. I thought, I mean, whatever. You want to smoke a cigarette, smoke a cigarette. I think it's gross and disgusting and stupid, but
it's so gross.
It doesn't, I never at any point was like, this is it. It is back. Like, and like the amount of memes and like comments that people have left, like they're just like, I don't get, I have to be missing something.
I think it's gross, and I don't see the correlation between smoking a cigarette and being iconic. Like, I thought, like, smoking cigarettes is very 90s. It's very bad for you. It just is what it is. I mean, I think it's like very much I don't know, when I see someone smoking a cigarette, I'm like, ew.
Yeah, I
don't know.
I don't get it. So then, like, the whole episode is basically them just talking about PK and Dorit's divorce, which it's funny because she was like, we're getting a divorce because he's an alcoholic. And then he's talking and he's like, we're getting a divorce because I'm sober. So I was like, yes. Okay.
You're probably getting a divorce because you're not on the same page, but
literally.
It's okay.
And then they're at, Sutton's surrealism party, which is stupid. And like, okay, she's having this surrealism party in honor of her friend Merce that she like spread his ashes last year, but like Merce has now become a storyline for 2 seasons and we never knew him before, and she would like had his ashes for years. Like, he didn't just pass away last year. Like,
right.
She had his ashes for years and years and finally decided to do something with it, and now he's coming. Now we're celebrating Merce's ashes spreading anniversary.
Okay, so now I get it. Okay, so ashes are iconic because we have the cigarette and Merce. So the ashes are the icon of the season.
I guess so.
Ashes are iconic.
So we'll
because see. I mean, yeah, I don't get it either. We didn't know Merce. We don't know the cigarette. We don't want to know the cigarette.
Yeah,
but ashes are iconic.
Meet a new housewife this season, and
Boz.
She seems awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. She is like head of every major. She has been a part of every single major company as this Black woman. Hell fucking yes. You
Boss
go,
lady.
Boz. You go. Like,
yes.
All of the top companies.
Yes. Netflix.
Ethereal.
Ethereal?
It's like a big like a huge company. I looked all of them up. Like, they're really good.
I know we're obviously not doing her justice at all right now by the way we just described it. But she explains the different positions she's held and it's very impressive. She's obviously very intelligent. And yeah, I'm excited. She seems like a really great addition and I think it's going to be a good season. And I feel like we finally have like we talked about this a while ago, but like a season where Erica Jane can kind of be herself again. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, so that was a lot of shows this week, but now, next week we'll be back to just the 4 shows again with, Orange County being done. Next week we will not be having a regular episode. Next week, we are going to have a special episode. Next week is going to be our dating episode, which we've briefly mentioned in past episodes, but next week we're going to have a dating episode. But then the week after that, we're going to be back to 4 shows. So anyways, like I mentioned earlier, if you like the fact that at the beginning of the episode, we talked a little bit more about like ourselves and our week and all that before we got into the shows, let us know so we can keep doing that. And we hope that everyone has like a great Thanksgiving. And then obviously we're still going to wrap up the episode with some positivity after all of our talk about gossip, because we always want to be learning and growing and all those kind of things. So we'd love for you to answer these questions in our comments too on our latest post. So, tell us what you're working on or what you're looking forward to each week. We always want to know what you guys are up to as well. So what is one thing you're working on this week, Kyra?
Mine for sure is being strategic with my cooking schedule for Thanksgiving. I'm making a lot of things while also I bake like a ton of cookies for my clients for the holiday season. So I just like found this like really cool hack. Thank you, TikTok. So I have to make cookies for like all of December, and I make like multiple ones. So it's like a lot, but I also don't want to like make them and freeze them because I love like a fresh cookie, but it's like just like realistically not a thing. So I saw this hack on TikTok. Basically, like you make all the dough, you put them in a Ziploc bag, like in like their like actual like mounds, like in their individual cookies. You'd put a straw in the Ziploc bag, suck the air out, it vacuum seals it, put them in their freezer. So that way, when you're ready to make a fresh batch, you just have the dough all ready to go and make them.
Oh.
So I will be doing that. So yeah, I have to make like 400 cookies. So
hope I'm on the list.
Oh, you will.
Nice. I am working on my sleeping schedule, which I know sounds weird, but I feel like I lately have been, I'll go to sleep at like a normal time, like 10:30. I will be up in the middle of the night, like from like 2 to 3:30, just wide awake. And then I'll fall back asleep, and then I wake up at my normal time, like 6 or 7 or 6 or 6:30. But then midday, I'm like very tired. And if I'm home, I'll take a quick nap, like if I can. And then I don't know, it's just out of whack. So I'm trying to I don't really know what I'm trying to work on, but.
Well, in the spiritual world, women waking up at that hour is like a very significant thing, and it's common. And also like suggestions would be like putting on like a YouTube sleep sound channel while you sleep. So it's like just like the sound waves. So naturally it like will help you like get into like a deeper sleep.
Well, I always have, I sleep with sleep sounds on the whole night with my, like I have a Hatch alarm clock, but it has sleep, like I have that on all night. So
something further.
Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah.
Good luck. Gosh.
Thanks.
I can't resonate with not sleeping well, and I feel so bad because I have a lot of friends that go through that, and like I'm just such a good sleeper. Like I could sleep anytime, anywhere.
So remember at the beginning of the podcast when we added that segment about like what we do well, Kyra decided to add it at the end as well.
So something about me is on
just a little extra. Okay.
Honestly, can't relate to flaws because it's just I've never had any.
Like honestly, that sucks. Cannot relate. So, what's one thing you're looking forward to?
Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh, all the good food. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, same. Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to time off work. Some family in town. All the things. And then lastly, what is something that made you feel like an adult this week?
I feel like I got my tasks done early this week. So I felt like I was like more on it than normal. So I'm going to continue being even more on top of things and better. So yeah, that made me feel really adult.
Nice. Mine was choosing paint colors, always doing some home improvement. So I was at Home Depot the other day and I have to go again today. I am painting a couple pieces of furniture this week. because my dad is back in town, my dad and my brother, so they're gonna help me paint some furniture. So I was up in that paint aisle with the paint chips.
What like colors are we thinking?
Well, I picked the colors, so so when I like redid my room recently, I got my new bed, and it's like a cream color, and my whole room is very neutral. So I have this piece of furniture. I don't really know what it is. It's like essentially like a banquet table type thing, but it's in my room. And I have like a TV on it, and it holds like books and movies and stuff, but it's not really a bedroom piece of furniture, but it's in my bedroom. And I'm painting that a bright pink. It was a coral, or it currently is like a coral color. So it's not really, I'm just painting it a pink color instead of like an orangey that it currently is.
Just branding us through and through, all through her home, you know?
And then I have a small dresser that I am painting. The color is called Peach Mimosa. Ooh. So it's an orange, and so it's going to be a pink and an orange, and then everything else in my room is just like a neutral. And I did that.
You do love a pink-orange combo.
Love. So they're very cute and pretty. The orange is a little bit softer, but the pink is like pretty pink. And
we look forward to going on this journey with you and seeing your home improvements before and after photos.
Yes. So those will be maybe on a carousel in the future. But yeah, so that's what made me feel like an adult. Anytime I go to Home Depot, feeling pretty adultish.
Always.
But yeah, that's all for this week. We hope you laughed and learned something with us. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you listen to us, Spotify, Apple, all the places. And all that info can be found in the description below. Make sure you share us with a friend. And remember that next week we're going to have a special episode. So you won't see us. Well, you will see us, but we won't have like a new updated episode about what's going on in our lives until the following weekend, or the following week, sorry. But we hope you all have a great Thanksgiving, and we will see you soon. Bye.